Hi and welcome back. This tutorial is going to focus on creating us our meeting items. So these are the things that which will have the seminars, the conference talks, and generally highlighting timed events during your event or conference. So to begin, we'll go to the agenda items section, and we can add a new agenda item to this event. Now this is the name that is going to appear in the app of the event, inside the event app. So for instance, let's come up with something which is like welcome to event keynote. Ignore the big box below for the moment, just click next and it'll now populate the fields that we can fill in for this item. So this is the descriptive text, so this is our welcome introduction. You can have pretty long text here. It's essentially long enough to have 3 or 4 pages worth of content on a mobile phone. Typically I'd try to keep this under about 300, 400 words if you can. If you have longer sections, it is possible to do. Just please contact ASART because we may need to extend your buffers. So after we've done that, we want to specify the time that this is going to take place. So let's click on the 25th of March at, say, 9 o'clock in the morning. And then we also want to specify the end time for this event. Now, the end time is optional if you want it displayed in the app itself. I would recommend always having an hour's duration in these things, just because it allows people to visualize it when they go to the timelines in the app. You can press the button like we just did, but personally I find it easier just to copy and paste the start time and then modify it to say 10 o'clock. This local start time is actually a bit of legacy. You can ignore it for the moment. It was so that we could specify times in a local time zone. Nowadays it's not needed because we are aware of the event's time zone, so you can actually just leave that part blank. Again, clickable shouldn't actually be too important. It's if you need to make some items clickable and some are not. By default, all of them will be clickable. So, I like clicking it just in case we ever need to turn that option back on, but it's not actually necessary. On the location, we can now specify whereabouts this keynote is going to take place. So, for instance, we actually wanted to take place, say, on stand 10 of Company A. Now, when we were going and making these locations earlier, we could have actually assigned some rooms as well. So this should probably be in a room. We'll go back to changing that later. So press save, and it's as simple as that. If you ever need to edit any of those details again, it's this pencil icon over here on the right, and you can select it, and again you just bring up that same screen. And you can actually then click into that agenda item to specify the linkage to other items or modify its content. So if we click through in there, you can see, for instance, we have the ability to assign a speaker. We also have director's notes and update notes. Now these are only for the database. This is not for the app itself. This is for yourselves. So if, for instance, you said we are still waiting on knowing if the main speaker can attend this. Okay, that's just basically for you to keep track and to be able to share information back and forth on the team. Update notes, again, is the same thing. This might be someone saying, I spoke with the speaker and he said it should be fine. And you probably want to include the date for all of these notes. So, for instance, we could put in 2013, 03/15th, and maybe your name, so initials. It's just an optional feature if it helps with your workflow on organising these events. So the next person would just fill in the next one here, 2013, 03, 17, AM. Yes, confirmed.